we kind of already talked about Texas A&M and Alabama. And we kind of already gave you our preview. We gave you the preview the other day in long form, and you can find that on the channel still if you haven't already seen it. But I did want to do something for you, kind of give you a little peek ahead here at what we'll be talking about a lot this month. Nick Saban's got a crazy October coming up, okay? I think it's kind of a waste, actually, to use this title as just a random segment on a random show. Saban's October sounds like a Broadway play. I think it should be like a #1 country song. Saban's October sounds great, but be that as it may, we're using it on Late Kick because no one's trademarked it before. Think about this. Very few of us will ever be as successful in any walk of life as Nick Saban has been coaching college football. Imagine this. Imagine you are so good, you have so become the standard in your line of work that you have created your own competition. That's what this man has done. He is responsible for the existence of his own competition. Not over the next 1 week will he face a former assistant of his. The entire month of October will consist of Nick Saban. Next 4 weeks will consist of him facing old assistant coaches. He's got Jimbo this week. He's got Lane Kiffin the week after that. He's got Kirby Smart the week after that. And then he's got Jeremy Pruitt the week after that. Has it ever happened? I don't know if it's ever happened. So Football Scoop kind of has a running update on this. Every time Nick Saban faces one of his former assistants, he's got 16 of them that he's now faced as a head coach. 16 have become head coaches. Let me put it like that. He's faced former assistants 19 times in total. 19-0, perfect record. We'll see if he extends it to 23-0 over the next month. The average score in those games has been 41-15. So I got to thinking, okay, no one ever thought Jim McElwain was going to beat Nick Saban. But you may think Kirby Smart's going to beat him. You may think that Lane Kiffin could sneak around and pop him. So I dug into our numbers, and I wondered, over the next month, I just mentioned the 4 games that he's going to play, A&M, Ole Miss, Georgia, Tennessee, next 4 weeks. What would our numbers indicate on these games? So I didn't send this to Colin because it would have taken forever to make all these graphics, and we'll end up making them anyway. This week, to remind you, Bama's a 17 to 18 point favorite. We have Bama minus 19 in our own personal numbers. Next week, at Ole Miss, I'll give you a little, I guess, sneak peek at what we think about that game. We have Alabama minus 22.5. The following week, at home against Georgia, we got Bama minus 11. And the week after that, at Tennessee, we have Alabama minus 20. Keep in mind, schedule and situational dynamics are taken into account in those numbers. So these 4 kind of feel different to me. I got to be honest with you. Jimbo has already been established. So what I mean by these feel different is I feel like these are 4 guys who would have been head coaches anyway. Obviously, it greatly helps that they were associated with Nick Saban, but I feel like they are standalone or have the potential to be standalone at this point. I know you'd probably push back on Jeremy Pruitt right now. I happen to have a very high opinion of the ceiling of Jeremy Pruitt's program there. So Jimbo's already well established. Kirby's obviously built Georgia's roster up to where it's one of, if not the very best in college football. Jeremy Pruitt is rapidly overturning the roster at Tennessee, probably a lot quicker than you guys realize, or a lot of you guys realize. Kiffin just terrifies everyone in general. One of the great offensive minds in the sport. For all the baggage, for lack of a much better and more applicable term, he has off the field, everyone keeps hiring him. Why do they keep hiring him? I think it's pretty obvious. So this October for Nick Saban, Saban's October, man, it's a great book title. Maybe we'll write it one day. It'd really sell if we have some upsets coming up. But really interesting October coming up there for Nick Saban. Just keep your eye on that.